What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hopsgeeknews, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and typically we feature a beer of the week. I am Matt. With me, as always, is Lauren, and today we are going to be talking about the 2005 film House of Wax, starring a stacked cast. Paris Hilton, Chad Michael Murray, Alicia Cuthbert, and this movie is stacked.
Jared Padalecki.
How could I bury the lead? Jared Padalecki, of course, is in this. So we will be talking about that. Spoilers, which it's been out 20 years. My goodness. So go ahead, like, subscribe, share, follow anywhere you get your podcasts, social media that you can find us on there too. Hopsgeeknews. Go to the link tree in the link of this episode. Support the show if you want. Patreon.com/Hopsgeeknews. And for $5 a day, you could help support this podcast because one of us is not getting paid
$5 a day.
Yeah, one of us isn't getting
really
paid right
upped our
now.
Patreon.
Sarah McLachlan, all right. I will remember. Anyways, we like to talk about what beer we may be drinking that week or coffee, and then we go into what we've been reading and reviewing on nerdinitiative.com, what maybe TV shows or movies we're watching, some news, and then our main topic. I didn't put the beers bought into the fridge. Ooh, tough, because I had some good zombie theme ones from like KCBC beer, brewing company. There's some cool cans. So I chose Sap from Treehouse because I panicked, and Sap is sticky and mushy, kind of like wax.
Nice.
It's been a long week. I had a beer today. I wasn't going to drink, but I was like, man, I feel like crap. My eyeballs hanging out of my head, and I'm going to have a beer. So,
your eye looks better today.
Yeah, it's still like a little bit bloody on it, but every kid at the birthday party Sunday was like, wow, your eye's really bloody. And I was like, this is why I had sunglasses. Thanks, kids, because now I'm like freaking the kids out. But then they were all interviewing me. There's a bunch of 7-year-olds. They're all interviewing me because the microphones, because it was a K-pop Demon Hunters birthday party we threw.
Ah, yes.
And so they're all just asking me a bunch of questions, and I felt like a celebrity. All right, I felt like a superstar. Nobody. Those kids, gotta careful how you phrase that, but the kids made me feel like a celebrity by interviewing me. It was great. Awesome. So this podcast is going places because I think we might be doing something coming up on the 26th that we can let Lauren maybe break the news with her beer.
Yes. I have to definitely confirm it with my comic book shop, but it looks like we're going to be recording an episode at Epic Comics October 26th. They're doing a Halloween event there. That is on the east side of Orlando. If you're familiar with Orlando, it's in the Waterford area. It's right across the street from that huge Super Target, Regal movie theater, all that. They have been my comic book shop for, let's just say the first time I went in there, I was pregnant with Brielle, and Brielle is 13.
What?
So that's how long I've been going there. They've always been nothing but incredibly sweet. Very excited to get to do this, but we got to hash out all the details. We might have Al pop on. So Al is huge, obviously, into the geek world if he is at the comic book shop. So Juan's the owner now. Al, though, is also into beer. So I've actually run into him at a beer fest before. So we'll figure all that out, but I am very excited for that.
That's gonna be awesome.
But yeah, so my beer is Stairway to Nothing from Tactical Brewing. So I actually don't have a side word of a Tactical. Should we
talk to our legal team?
At the very end of the movie, they're climbing the stairs, and it feels like,
oh my God, that drove me crazy. I can't wait to talk about that because the way they moved at the end drove me wild. Just how slow, but then again, homie got. Anyways,
it was like a nightmare. Yeah, we'll get there.
Let's go into
I do have a funny story. So I was lighting this candle as we were getting started for House of Wax, and Brielle reminded me of something Logan said. So one of the things that Logan put on this weekend was Hocus Pocus 2. And in Hocus Pocus 2, they're recapping the virgin lighting the candle. And some kid in the movie says, "What's a virgin?" And the guy goes, "It's somebody who's never lit a candle." And Logan goes, "Oh, that's me. This is my 8-year-old." But then he follows it up with, "But I don't want to be anymore." Because he wants to light a candle.
That's like, oh my God. We were watching Hubie Halloween with our 7-year-old Harper, and obviously in that movie it's got some adult crass humor, but she's now old enough to pick up on it to where when the mom is like boner, she used the word boner, using it for like a mistake. Oh, I made a boner today. And we had to immediately go, you do not say that, because that's not at all what that means. And she was like, that's not what boner means. I was like, oh my God, no. Jesus. So yeah, we're at that stage with our kids where we have to start explaining things, I guess, which is always awkward and fun.
I'm not ready to explain virgin to him. I always told the kids it was somebody who had never been kissed. So I thought that was a good, because all the kids asked that, but I like that they addressed it in the new movie because they know a bunch of kids asked it in 1993.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I've seen some good costumes out there already of Ice and the other dude too. I wanted to say Vanilla Ice, but it's not Vanilla Ice, but I've seen some good costumes out there. And then they're, of course, doing their Salem stuff right now. I don't know if they're here next week for the GalaxyCon Richmond's anime, whatever weekend it is. But I know Brian O'Halloran is. I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be in North Carolina on Saturday, actually. But that'd be pretty cool to get to talk to them again. But Brian O'Halloran's going to be there. So go say hi to our friend, Brian O'Halloran, everybody. You take us into our comic books this week. What you get into before, you know me, I've got 35 comic books I always read. So
I know I reviewed one this week. I've been busy reviewing shows, and I did review a book as well.
You've been killing it on the TV front, though. So legit, between all your TV stuff, you've probably got the harder job.
The TV stuff is fun to review, but it is very demanding because it's not like you just sit there and enjoy the show and write about it.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I write a lot of my recaps where they're like spoiler free. So if you want to read them beforehand, you can, but I spoil previous stuff. But like when I do the finale for Peacemaker, the finale for Gen V, like the finales I spoil because that's when you want to get everything out of your system.
Yeah. I mean, you have to talk about the season as a whole at that point.
Yeah. But I try to leave like little Easter eggs for people who have seen it that get it, but also leave it a little subtle if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers. But I think that's what's fun about Nerd Initiative, that we all get to do our own thing and do it how we want to do it. So I only did one comic this week, but I actually happened to go to the comic book shop on Wednesday, which happens rarely these days. And so I have the comic in my hand, which is fun. So this is Laura Kinney Sabretooth. So this is also Erica Schultz. She did the Laura Kinney Wolverine. And this, I think, is going to be this is Age of Revelation. So this is going to be a whole bunch of
that ties in with like binary and stuff. Yeah, there's a whole big thing going. I'm not a big X-Man guy. X-Man, oh Jesus. Get me off the pod. I'm not big into X-Men. So what is the Age of Revelation? I'm not really sure what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. So
it's going to be like the Blood Hunt, I'm assuming, where you don't have to read everything to know what's going on. So this says X years later, a new savage, new beginning. But what I loved about this is Laura meets up with, we see Dakin in this, or Akihiro. And what's really cool is the Akihiro we meet is from Benjamin Percy's Helverine run that's going on that I'm absolutely loving.
Oh, no way. Some crossover action. Okay.
He's got the Bagra ghoul demon inside of him, which that was a spinoff from the 50-issue Ben Percy run that he did before that. But again, you don't have to read all of these. It's just cool that they're bringing these in, but they're catching you right up and like they tell you real quick, like, oh, this is the Helverine because he's got the Bagra ghoul demon inside of him. And that's the only reason he's alive, because Sabretooth killed him. But why she took Sabretooth's name is actually really cool. Wolvie does make an appearance, but it's not Wolvie as you would expect. There's some other family members that pop up with hers. And like Laura Kinney's whole thing is she always wants to do whatever she can for mutants. She's basically a more emotionally intelligent version of Logan. And I love that. And they draw her so badass, and I really love her story. And I love that she's also one of those characters that's willing to admit when she messes up and fix it. So I recommend getting into this. I love the Laura Kinney Wolverine run, and this is the same Laura Kinney, it seems like, and it's the same writer for it as well. So artwork was gorgeous as well.
I will follow that up with, I did Binary. I picked up Binary from Stephanie Phillips. This is issue 1, and it's also Age of Revelation.
We have the actual comics in our hands.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on other than Carol Danvers is now the Phoenix. She is, successor to the Phoenix. She's got it. She's at her hometown, and she basically has done what Wanda did in WandaVision. She's walled it off so that way whatever's going on outside does not affect her hometown. And so they're basically fed up with her. There's a group in there that's kind of starting to agitate the people to turn against her, basically, because they want to attack Carol. It
comes from, I'm not up to date on Phoenix. I'm a few issues behind. Is it connected to the Stephanie Phillips Phoenix run?
I think so. I'm not totally sure.
I remember her sister
I haven't read
at
Phoenix,
the end.
All of it, but Jean Grey has passed on Phoenix to Carol Danvers. So it might be, honestly. I probably should know this because, Stephanie Phillips is a homie of ours. Also, on the back, it reminded me just now that Captain America versus Alien is dropping in November, and I cannot wait for that. But no, this comic was great. It was awesome. Giada Balviso, Rochelle Rosenberg, excuse me.
She did the art for the Laura Kinney Wolverine. I like her art. I think that's her.
Rochelle?
No, Rochelle Rosenberg and Giada Balviso.
Rochelle Rosenberg is actually doing a ton of artwork right now for a lot of comic books. So you're going to see her name everywhere.
Laura Kinney
art. A lot of the colors. It's really awesome. Would definitely highly recommend checking out anything with her name attached to it for sure. Aside from that, IDW Dark is doing a lot of things, and they're teasing some good stuff for 2026.
Yes, it is her.
So, it is Rochelle?
No, Giada Balviso, and I think it was Sherelle did it too, because it's funny, I actually just went to her Instagram, and there's our review is on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's cool. Yeah.
I did Event Horizon Dark Descent issue 2 from Christian Ward is actually one of the is the writer, not one of the, he is the writer on this book, and it is creepy. Nope, Tristan Jones and Pip Martin did the art and color, but you know it's really good. So if you know anything about Event Horizon, the movie, it's dark, it's all about hell, and yeah, this one's no different. Like, this is a bloody, gruesome comic book. Basically, there's a demon coming out and is going to do a lot of crazy stuff.
It's like a demon Groot on the front.
That's IDW there. And then Masterminds issue 2 from Zach Kaplan, friend of the show, Dark Horse Comics. It's got Tiago Roca and Stephen Thompson also on it. This issue is pretty fun because it felt more like James Bond. It was they had to go undercover after the first issue. They had to do some stuff, and they go where the first issue ends, this picks up, and it basically is a game, but there's real life consequences to this game. And so they have to do something and steal something from the head of this gaming company that was firing a lot of people. And then now there's like a life or death situation cliffhanger at the end of this. But Zach does an incredible job. He's really good at building suspense and building tension and keeping you hooked. And so this is a really good, between this and Kill All Immortals, Zach does a really good job. And I wouldn't be shocked to see a lot more from him in the near future. I do love this one, Spider-Man and Wolverine issue 6 from Mark Guggenheim. This is good too because it's Mark Guggenheim, Victor Nava and Gerardo Sandoval and Brian Reber. Now, I texted you the pictures right away because at the beginning it's Wolverine saying, you know, he's the best at what he does, and what he does is drink beer. And meanwhile, Peter Parker sitting across from him drinking milk. And I thought it was hilarious. And this is Horror on the Train. So basically, this is kind of a Halloween-y issue, as a couple of the issues out this month are right now.
I saw Aquaman look like it was horror this month too.
I picked that one up.
I did, but I haven't read it.
I reviewed it, but I didn't pick it up. I will talk about that in a second, actually. But yeah, it's really good. This one felt a lot like where issue 5 left off. I don't know if you're up to date on issue 5. Were you?
I don't remember.
Okay, well,
basically, the last thing I saw.
Heroes. There's death at the hands of heroes, and this really plays into that. And Logan tries to protect Peter's guilty conscience a lot in this issue, and it's very much big brother, little brother. And I love this particular relationship.
Sibling that showed up that I didn't know existed.
Yes, but that
gets. I don't want to say anything.
You're not up to date. You're not up to date. I won't go anymore. I really love this other one, Batman, Gotham by Gaslight, A League for Justice. This is issue 4. This is the Western style take on, you know, Batman and all them. Andy Diggle is on the writing. It's so good. You know, General Zod is the bad guy essentially, but it's so much more than that because, you know, Andy Diggle, Rob Williams, Leandro Fernandez, Matt Hollingsworth, they're all on this. They're battling Zod. It's the Justice League gets together, but you have Huntress, you've got Constantine, you've got Flash, Cyborg, Superman, Green Lantern, like Martian Manhunter. It is so good. The artwork in this is fun. It's just really, really good alternative take on this Justice League. And again, it takes place in like Western times. And Lex Luthor is getting set up to be the big bad guy. Go figure, right? What? Who could have seen that coming? Now, Supergirl issue 6. This one is another spooky Halloween one. It's from Sophie Campbell, who does a lot of the art and she does the writing, but she also has Tamara Bonvillain. Now, this is basically going inside Supergirl's mind. And this is a really good issue because it goes into her past. Cool. And she's very concerned with her past and her feelings of failure. And it's really getting her down. And she's so tired. But what's really cool is I always feel as though Sophie Campbell's giving us real life lessons, especially for the younger audience that I think this is kind of for. It's don't let your past define you. Your past, just because you made mistakes in your past, doesn't mean that's who you are. And you are like this terrible person.
In the past. Let it go.
Learn to live with your mistakes, essentially. Yeah. And that's kind of how that one is. So I'm really enjoying the Supergirl run. It's really good. Just like the Aquaman run, issue 10 is out. That one has ghost pirates appear. What? Very Halloween-y. Yes.
All right, so I got to catch up on Aquaman this month.
Aquaman is really good. This one, it's like Supernatural, and you can tell because it's Jeremy Adams. And Supernatural, what they do well, they give you the serious episodes, and then they give you the let's just take our brains.
Jeremy Adams wrote Scooby Natural.
Yes. So he makes this feel like a Saturday morning cartoon, actually, and kind of gives Scooby-Doo vibes a little bit in this issue with the way the pirates are. Funny enough, John Timms and Rex Locus are doing the artwork, but it moves the story along at the throughout still. So there is still the story and plot being moved forward to what the ultimate goal is. But this is very much like let's take a breather for the audience, take a step back, and we can just have some fun for a moment. And so there's battling pirates, which is how that goes. Really good. Absolute Batman 13. This is Selena Kyle. You know, you've got Frank Martin, you've got Scott Snyder, Nick Dragata. I love Selena and Bruce's relationship in this. And this is essentially setting up the big fight to go down between Bane and Bruce in the next issue to end the Bane arc. And it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. I don't want to spoil too much from that because this run is incredible. And I'm sorry, but last but certainly not least, DCKO issue 1 is out. Now, I did the blind bag. I reviewed it with Ken and Megan.
I did get that in my box.
Good. It is. So I got the blind bag, and I happened to get the variant cover by Greg Capullo, Jonathan Glapian, and Alex Sinclair. Amazing. It's a foil cover. I love the blind bags that they do. It's fun. This did not go the way I thought it would go. We thought it would be Darkseid bringing these people together and making them fight to save Earth, which it kind of is. However, if you haven't read it, it's so much more than that. And there's a couple pretty shocking deaths in this first issue that I didn't see coming. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right. And there's some things that I was very much taken aback by in a good way.
Is this a standalone thing?
No, so it's not. So it's the big event they've been teasing. It's a big tournament style now. There's a big tournament. All these heroes have to fight.
Yeah, I know you guys made a video on it and we're voting on it.
So essentially, though, you have to. The only thing I don't like is it's not its own like standalone. You can read DCKO 1, 2, 3. No. It's going to continue in Justice League, the Omega Act, DCKO issue 1. So Omega Act kind of kicks it off. Then you have DCKO 1. So this is DC Omega Act is basically issue 0, and then we have KO is 1, and then we get Titans issue 28, Superman issue 31, The Flash 26, Justice League Unlimited 12. Yeah, they give you the breakdown at the back. And then in November, we have DCKO Nightfall or Night Fight.
It's like the whole X of Swords kind of thing.
Aquaman 11. Yeah. Titans 29. Then we get a DCKO number 2. Superman 32. Flash 27. Justice League Unlimited 13. Now, and it continues through March, but they only give us the October-November breakdown. I don't like that because now I mean, I do and I don't. I get why they're doing it. It's this big crossover event. And so they want people to pick up these other stories, especially some that probably aren't selling as well as the Absolute series and things. But I just feel like you're making your audience do a lot of legwork where I don't know. I see what they're doing. As from a marketing perspective, it makes sense. And I'm not going to knock them for it. And Joshua Williamson, Scott Snyder know what they're doing. And it's really good. And I'm going to pick up those issues. But I can see some people being turned off by that fact, I guess, which I hope not. I hope they do pick it up because I'm going to pick up those issues. And who knows? Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But that's the only thing I kind of feel with that. It is what it's very much worth the read, though. Definitely a lot goes on in this book. It's crazy.
Right. Did I talk about theme music last week? I think I did. The book. The one with the book, the little girl was 1.5 when her dad killed all her family, and then she moved back into the house when she was in her 20s.
No, oh man.
Okay, so that was a great novel that I did the review for Nerd Initiative. I read that book was almost 400 pages, and I read it in 3 days, which I don't usually read books that fast. But that was one of those ones I couldn't put down, and like if I had 5 minutes, I was reading it for 5 minutes. But it was really good. So this girl, she's 1.5. Her father one day out of nowhere goes and kills her 3 brothers and her mom in the kitchen, and then he slits his own throat. She's being raised by her aunt, her father's sister, and her husband. And then when she's in her 20s, she decides, I need to find a house for my boyfriend and I to live in. This house is on the market. I'm just going to go look at it. I'm just going to talk to the realtor. And the next thing we know, she's living in it. And of course, everybody's telling her she's crazy. But then she, meets the neighbor, and the neighbor's like, wait, you're that person? And then she decides she's going to go and talk to the person who was the lead detective on the case. And then she finds out all of these things because, when you're little, they protect you from the truth and don't tell you the truth. Yeah, so as she's getting older, she's finding out more things. She's like, well, nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever told me that. And so it's very interesting because there's a lot of mystery going on, and there's supernatural stuff, going on. And then you don't know which way the story is going. And at one point, you're really like, I don't like the main character. She's an asshole. She's being selfish. Is she crazy? I don't know if she's crazy. I can't tell if she's crazy. But then at the end, it all came together. But the last probably 40 pages really bring it all together. And of course, I lay down at 11:30 to read those last 40 pages and couldn't put it down until I finished those last 40 pages.
Oh, see, I would have fell asleep.
No, it was too I needed to know. It was really good.
But that's great. I love when you get a book that you can't put down like that. It's been so long since I've had something like that. It's in a book anyways.
But I mean, in books, obviously, there's always lulls where, and like I'm terrible about as soon as there's a lull, I'll fill myself, trailing off, which is why I can't do audiobooks because so I can go and read the
I got to read
paragraph
at my
again.
own pace. Yeah.
But this, I mean, there was no lulls. I was sucked in from the first page until the very last page. So I really liked it. It's a fairly new book. It came out in like 2020. Again, it's called Theme Music. If you want my full review, my non-spoiler review is up on Nerd Initiative. So that was great. And go to thrift books. They sell like used books.
They do,
fairly decently
if you're
priced.
looking for a good price, yeah.
Yeah, and then I started Something Wicked This Way Comes. That's only like 200 pages, but it's an old book by Ray Bradbury, and I only bought it because there's the name of a supernatural episode with that.
Oh,
I think I did tell you that.
Thinking, does it tie into the Wicked universe?
No.
I think you did. I don't remember. Come on.
I think the author Ray Bradbury is what Charlie's named after.
We covered that in our panel back at MegaCon. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Come on.
But I'm talking about last week. Probably some of our listeners will be like, she did tell us about theme music. Okay. Why is she talking about this again?
It's because me, guys. I'm sorry. I have watched Gen V. I didn't watch today's episode.
So you're 5 in.
5 in. I didn't watch 6 yet. 5 in.
For you to watch 6.
Now, I will say, for anybody who was like me, I was kind of falling out of love with The Boys because it was just, I don't know. There was something with The Boys universe that just kind of was losing me. It was kind of going more shock value over like really good story in my mind.
But their shock values always have a reason.
I know.
And there's a really good shock thing in Gen V that ends up making complete sense in a future episode that you're like, because I started to feel like that in Gen V this season. There was a certain superpower that I'm like, why? And then later you're like, oh, and now you can think about it. And then when you see it happen, you'll be like, ha, that's what she was talking about.
Well, yeah, I really enjoy this one though. I liked what they did with Andre and his memory, and then I liked his dad. Emma's my favorite character so far. And I freaking hate the Dean. And he is the guy from the Midnight Mass. Yeah, I knew his voice. He is so good at just being phenomenal. Weird. And he's really good in this. You hate him as much as Homelander. And then you're like,
you're
don't
also
worry,
intrigued.
Well, yeah,
why is he like this?
There's a lot. We'll break it down in a spoiler episode. Same with Peacemaker because we're both there. But I'm gonna catch up tomorrow on Gen V, and then there's only 2 episodes left. Peacemaker's about to be done, so that's kind of what And then Is It Cake? Does a Halloween Is It Cake? If you're looking for something fun and spooky, Mikey Day's back with it. We love that. That's a family show for us because we all sit there and guess. I freaking love that show. My dream is to host a show like that or be a guest judge where I can just. Is it cake? I don't know. And then you're sitting, it just looks like so much fun. I want to judge one of these food competitions, man. It looks so much fun.
A snuggly duckling. And it's like, but your dream's stupid.
Yeah.
Let's do her dream.
A dream probably is stupid, but how fun would it be to get invited to like this Halloween baking show?
Dreams are stupid dreams, honestly.
You get to judge that. Like that would be the best. Ah, man. I don't know.
I feel like we could make that happen. We should make that happen.
would hope if people listen to this podcast and make us famous, maybe, who knows?
What was the show where the cakes were all really bad? Brielle watched that for a little bit.
I loved Nailed It. That show hasn't been on it forever. I loved Nailed It. Yeah, Nicole Byer and Chef Jacques. That show was awesome too. They stopped.
That's a show I would be on.
I would love. I can't decorate. I can bake. I cannot decorate. I'm not beautiful.
I can't do either.
I can make delicious food, but it's not going to come out looking pretty.
I can paint a canvas and put it on top of the cake.
That's true. Carrie makes beautiful cakes and stuff. Carrie's really good at that. I'm not decorative.
No,
I'm like, here you go, messy toddler.
I just put toys on top of it.
That's fair. We don't really have any news this week though. Other than, Predator Badlands is getting ready to come out. Oh, I went and saw a movie. Oh, it was the Taylor Swift movie. It wasn't a movie.
Oh, let's not talk about that. I can't I'm so overwhelmed. I have nothing against Taylor Swift. I liked her before it was cool to like her, and now I don't care for her.
I'm kind of out on her right now, so it's okay. Yeah, we don't really have news. Predator Badlands is getting ready to come out. Frankenstein, there's a limited theater Frankenstein release from Guillermo del Toro and Oscar Isaac that comes out Friday the 17th, along with Black Phone 2. But that's going to come on Netflix in November. Frankenstein is, but I want to go see that in a theater. That movie looks like Guillermo del Toro is amazing. He did, the Hellboy movies, the 3 that were good.
Well, didn't he do something
Pan's
on Netflix
Labyrinth as well? Oh yeah, he did the it was that anthology series or not? Yeah, it was the clocks.
Yeah, and it had like wasn't Rick Grimes in one? There was a bunch of
Curiosities or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. He did. He's really good. Well, he was supposed to do the Justice League Dark at one point too, back when Zack Snyder's universe, but that never took off. And I would love to see that. That's my biggest what if, because he's incredible.
An episode on just the things of DC that didn't pan out.
Jeez. Yeah. How much time you got, kid? Well, then let's dive into our main topic. So we will be right back because we are going to come back with House of Wax. And we're back. The 2005 film House of Wax. Yeah, 2005. Hard to believe. But then you listen to the soundtrack and it's very 2005, like Disturbed, Marilyn Manson. It's that rock new metal type stuff that was really big right around then. It wasn't Limp Bizkit because Limp Bizkit was kind of the first, but then you know, Disturbed and all them were kind of big at the height of their things. And so that soundtrack, that was the first thing I thought of. But according to IMDb,
the cast gave it away that it was 2005.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, it was Chad Michael Murray, Alicia Cuthbert, who had just came from Girl Next Door.
Loved her. Yeah, she's so pretty.
So she was in that in 2004. So yeah, she's hot off those heels. And then we had Brian Van Holt, Paris Hilton, and Jared Padalecki. Of course, 2005 was when Supernatural started. So this was like,
which is funny. He looks older in this though than he does in Supernatural. But this actually came out a few months before
gave
Supernatural.
Him like stubble though. That's why, because he's very clean shaven.
The best part when the guy's like, "What do you go to the hair or the barber and ask for the He-Man haircut?" I lost my mind laughing at that. It totally looked like a He-Man haircut. It just wasn't blonde.
He had the stubble, and so they kind of aged him a little bit. But they're supposed to be going to some college football, anyways. IMDb description: a group of teens are unwittingly stranded near a strange wax museum and soon must fight to survive and keep from becoming the next exhibit. Yes, not a lot. It was directed by Jaume Collet Serra, stars Alicia Cuthbert, Chad Michael Murray, Brian Van Holt, Paris Hilton, Jared Padalecki, so many more. The budget was $40 million and it made $70 million, which I thought was good, but apparently it was
made a lot of it. Because I think it made a lot of it after the fact on like rentals and DVD sales, like because this was one of those movies that didn't do well and then became like a cult classic kind of thing.
Yeah, they were planning it to become. They were going to do a prequel movie before this, and because this movie flopped, they abandoned that. I was like, it flopped? Huh? $70 million for a horror movie in 2005. I feel like was pretty decent, but I guess, like you said,
who knows? If it's coming off Scream and stuff like that, like who knows what they're comparing it to?
You're
Plus,
right.
I mean, it was probably, that cast, I feel like they probably thought like, oh, this cast is so hot. They're going to, do fabulous.
It was a very pretty cast because everybody, it was a who's who cast because of course, Paris Hilton, she's at the height of that's so hot.
Murray, that was One Tree Hill, the height of that.
Oh, that's right. That was when that one was going on.
Yeah, because
Alicia Cuthbert, like I said, was very like a lot of people's awakening, if you will. In
and the Girl Next Door. Well, is that the one she went? Yeah, she went to the prom with the dorky guy that became Riddler.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah, she did go. She went.
Well, he was one of the guys that went. I don't know.
He was one of the guys.
Yeah.
Now, actually, Robert. Richard as well, who plays Blake, he was in a lot of Disney films. I
was gonna say I didn't know him.
I did. So he was in a lot of, I want to say, I'm looking it up on IMDb. Like he hasn't really done a lot. He's in a lot of things, but he hasn't really done a lot of things since. But he was in Sports Theater with Shaq. He was on the Jamie Foxx show. He was on Alley Cat Strike. That's what I remember from Disney. Once and Again.
I don't know what that is.
He was on My Wife and Kids, Touched by an Angel. Like that was Coach Carter. He was on Coach Carter. That's also I remember.
Never heard of that either.
Coach Carter with Samuel Jackson. It's a basketball. It's really good. Coach Carter is so good. Oh my gosh. That movie is worth watching. Yes. But yeah, so he was at that kind of the height because like I said, he was on Disney Channel. And then of course,
at this point, the only thing I knew Jared Padalecki from was Cheaper by a Dozen.
He was in that movie?
Yeah. He was like
Hillary Duff one?
Yeah, he was being mean to Superman. He was picking on him. He was one of the bullies at the high school.
Honestly, I did not know that.
Never seen the meme where it's like, remember the time Hillary Duff stopped a fight between Sam Winchester and Clark Kent?
No. Let's go through the plot. So on the way to a football game, Carly Jones, who's Alicia Cuthbert, her delinquent twin brother Nick, Chad Michael Murray, her boyfriend Wade.
Wait, you have to start with the flashback. It's 1974.
Oh, go ahead. Give us the flashback first. Because I was reading from a prompter here because your notes were all over the place from everyone.
My notes are all over the place because when we did Screamboat, I was so good at like describing all my notes that I felt like I kept missing things and having to stop and rewind.
Oh, okay.
So I just wrote notes on my phone and I was like, maybe this will be more fun. We'll break it down more.
Give us the flashback. All right, you know what? There, you take the lead then. Take the lead. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So it's 1974. We don't see the faces of these children, but we hear them and we see their shoes, and there's clearly twins in high chairs. One of them is sitting nicely and being praised by mom for being so well behaved. The other one is screaming, and dad puts the kid in the high chair. Mom helps lock the kid up. They tie things around the kid's wrist.
Louisiana
He's
folks.
Clearly the naughty twin.
He was also conjoined to the back of the head and had his face like. Well, I know
we
don't know that
till later, which is why they don't show the faces, because then we would have seen that the well-behaved twin was missing half his face, and the other twin is not.
Oh, that's right. I guess you're right. The well-behaved twin was the one with the messed up face. Okay, never mind. You're right. Never mind. Continue. Sorry.
So then we cut back to 2005, and of course they say they're heading to a football game. It sounded like they were coming from Gainesville, so I had wondered. I'm like, are these UF? They might have been going
to University of Florida versus LSU, because they were going to Baton Rouge, and it was the game of the year. So that was the height of that was.
They never specifically said UF. They never said Florida, but I heard them say Gainesville at one point.
And then they also said they were heading to Baton Rouge. So those two together leads me to believe it was a big SEC, because LSU and Florida was they're a powerhouse.
Shouldn't be a Florida Gator fan.
They shouldn't have gone to Louisiana, period, I guess. Like, why would you go off the beaten path and want to sleep in a tent in Louisiana in the first? Ew.
I thought that was interesting.
First of all. And
it was winter, though. She does say it's winter, because they explain why it's all of a sudden dark so quick. So there would be less bugs in the winter.
Still Louisiana, it's still swampy and gross.
Florida.
So if it's winter, why are you camping out in the middle of Louisiana bum effing woods when they were like an hour away from the football place? Could they not have just gotten a hotel?
They didn't wake up. Okay, so they're like, oh, we have a shortcut. That's never going to work out well. So they take the shortcut, and then the shortcut leads them on a detour. So then that's where they decide, like, oh, let's just camp here. And I'm like, really? They're camping? And then they're like, let's get up early and leave. And they wake up and it's 2:30 in the afternoon.
That's oh my God, that's my other problem. That my anxiety could never. I would be like, guys,
beer cans everywhere.
I don't care.
Were they smoking? I think they might have been smoking.
The drugs? Are you telling me they was doing the pot?
But they
a lot of sex and marijuana.
She said something. I think I put it in the notes when we get there. She's like, "Oh, these guys are gonna get got, or they're toast, or they're whatever kids these days say. They're cooked. That's what Brielle said. They're cooked.
They're cooked.
About Paris and her boyfriend. But while they're camping, some truck pulls up, and they're all like, "What is this guy doing? He doesn't do anything." Chad Michael.
They're very antagonistic towards that car, though.
Yes, yeah, they are. They're rude.
They
honestly have it come in the whole movie.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. I thought I was the only one, because, like you were about to say, Chad Michael Murray throws something and breaks the guy's headlight, and the dude
throws a beer bottle.
Like, the dude's just chilling, man. The guy. Okay, I get it. First of all, I would have walked up to the truck personally, not thrown something. I would have walked up like, "Hey, what's up, man? Talk to the guy." That could have been done. Instead,
I would have packed up and left.
I also would have left if the person never got out and they just pieced out. Yeah, I would have been like, "I'm sleeping in the truck. We're gone."
Coming back with a gun.
Most likely in Louisiana. Again, Louisiana.
Or if they're still in Florida. Because I at first was like, maybe they're still in Florida. But it says Ambrose, Louisiana. So then the car just leaves. And they get that gross smell. The wind's coming, so it smells like death. And then that's when you learn that. So Nick and Carly are the twins. So that's the hot girl from The Girl Next Door, and Chad Michael Murray.
Chad Michael Murray, yes.
Are twins. Chad Michael Murray, though, was kind of a dick. Oh, you know what I learned?
I was
listening to the Supernatural Now and Then podcast, and they're doing season 7 with Dick Roman, and they said that they got censored on Apple and they're not played in a bunch of the countries because they kept leaning too much into the dick jokes.
That's hilarious. I love that.
I thought it was funny. Here's your little side detour. So it sounds like Nick stole a car, but it's obviously something more to that, and he's being vague. We later find out that it wasn't Nick that stole the car. It was Dalton that stole the car. Nick was covering for him because Nick already has a rap sheet. So this whole movie, they're going back and forth with like evil twin, good twin, mirroring this evil twin and good twin with the Siamese twin, which you don't say Siamese anymore, but they had articles that say that.
You don't say Siamese anymore? How come? When did that happen?
You're not supposed to say Siamese twin. They say that in Supernatural.
Wait, you can't?
We are Siamese, if you please. Dun, dun, dun. Talking about Lady
that's a song. Yeah, that's a song. Like, so I genuinely had no idea.
The first episode that Richard Speight Jr. showed up in Supernatural and Tall Tales, I think that was season 2. Dean says Siamese twins, and Sam yells, "It's conjoined twins."
Oh,
You're not supposed to say that anymore.
That's news to me. I'm sorry, I guess. I had no idea.
We need a button, the more you know, and just play that.
Yeah, just today Matt learns about another offensive word that he had no idea of. My bad. Okay.
So Dalton is also pretty creepy at the campsite and is always filming. And then we cut to the middle of the night. He is weird. We cut to the middle of the night and we see someone's filming them sleeping. And of course, in the morning, the camera is missing. The car's not starting as it needs a new belt, even though it had a brand new belt. They get that nasty death smell again. And the girls decide that they're going to go try to find the nasty death smell. And the next thing we know,
as one does,
Carly falls into a pit and it's just
dead bodies.
Oh, no, it's not. It's dead animal bodies. It's roadkill.
Yeah, dead bodies. Still the same thing. No, because the guy pulls a hand out. Remember, too? He also pulls a hand out.
It's fake hand.
Or is it?
It is. It was wood. He knocked on it.
Oh, okay.
So you guys want a hand?
Paying attention to that point. I thought it was
it's a
fake hand, but it's not. They were so mean to him.
Clearing roadkill off the road. That's probably saving
Well, he's
lives.
The third brother, though.
But we don't know that yet. You don't find that out.
You're right. The guy was offering them a ride and stuff, and
he's clearly leading people to their death, but he's not the one killing them.
But he was to be fair, Jared was very hostile towards this man at the same time, though.
So rude.
Like, Jared, you kind of had it coming, man, because you were very hostile to this guy. He was offering to drive you, and then they you didn't remember that this road was blocked off after he offers to drive them while the rest go to the game. First of all, listen, either I'm going to drive that car somehow out of this area, or I'm going to hop in this truck and we're all going to go to the game and we're just going to worry about this piece of junk car later. I don't care. We'll get a fan when I know we're in the populated areas and we'll bring it back.
He didn't want to leave his car, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, no, I would have left my car because this is what happens when you don't leave your car.
Well, he had a fancy older car.
Well, he deserved to get
very Dean of him.
It was.
But yeah, I thought Wade was being jealous of these guys. It's what Wade is Jared Padalecki, and it's what are you doing? That's so just
very
gross.
Weird. It was very different for him. But yeah,
so they get to the town.
Yes.
So it's just the two. You go. Tell us about the funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they show up and they bust up in a funeral, and that's where you meet not Vincent, the other brother. And he's like, "You're breaking up a funeral here," and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," but even still,
they were still kind of rude.
Jared was like, "Yeah, I just want my belt. What the heck's going on here?" And it's we just need this belt so we can go. And they were in the middle of a funeral, and it was their mom's funeral, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
And so it's all very, dude. She was chill about the whole thing. She's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry," trying to diffuse the situation. Wade is very, very much not kosher. So they go up to the store. They go with Bo.
They got to kill some time.
Yeah.
They're
so
just
they go up there,
we'll wander around the town, and they break into places. They go into the wax museum, and it says closed, and they walk in.
They just start this town. They just start waltzing in everybody's place up in this town again.
Touching things.
What are you doing,
moving
man?
Things. Jared starts messing with the piano. That's foreshadowing.
Yes.
Because that's what he makes the device on the piano. So that was intentional. They're like, "Oh, you want to play with the piano? You can play with the piano for eternity now."
Well, so they're just waltzing around this town. Okay. Meanwhile, it cuts to the other four. They're in traffic. They're going to miss the game of the year. So they decide to turn around. Oh my God. Everybody's just making poor decisions in this movie.
How'd they even turn around? They were so stuck in traffic.
They were stuck in standstill traffic. First of all, I guarantee Baton Rouge isn't that trafficy. Maybe it is. I don't know. In 2005, who knows? Now they go and they end up getting their belt. However, the problem is the belt's a 16-inch. He needs a 15-inch. Okay. And that's when Bo is like, "I got one up at the house." And he's like, "You got one at the house? What's it doing at the house?" He goes, "Well, I get shipments to the house." And so I probably got the shipment.
Jared, calm down. We're going to make this real confusing. We're going to call him Jared, Wade and Sam.
Sorry. But yeah, he's just like, "What the hell, man? It's up your house. All right." And then Carly's like, "Hey, chill, bro. We got we're cool. Let's just go up. We'll get the belt. We're good. We'll go."
Right. But then Wade's like, "Oh, I have to pee." Really?
Oh, yeah. And that's when things go wrong for old Wade. Because
but he kept going through their house.
Yeah, the dude just waltzing through the house. Just waltzing through the house.
You're not investigating a paranormal case, Wade. This isn't supernatural. You pee and get out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So at this point, Carly kind of gets scared. She goes outside. Meanwhile, back inside the house, we see what's going on with Wade. He gets his Achilles tendon cut, which, it's scissors. Just comes with the scissors. That Achilles cut really easy with scissors. Can we just talk about how sharp those scissors were, or how strong Vincent was? Because snip, and he's down, and he's like, ah!
They were adamantium scissors.
Personal opinion, Jared, aka Wade, gets killed the worst out of anybody in this movie because, you know, he's getting roughed up, he gets fought, all that stuff, and then he ultimately gets overtaken and drugged down into that room. Meanwhile, you know, Carly's outside. She's like, what the hell? This is when, you know, Beau's like, family moved away. His mom went crazy. He was strapped to the bed. The husband killed himself and the twins ended up in foster care, blah, blah, blah.
So he's telling the story of his family, but he's not saying it's his family.
No, he's just talking about a family. And that's when we also learned that Nick did not steal the car. The camera guy did. And all that kind of stuff. Now, while Carly's outside, because it's dark now, she's waiting in the guy's truck. She notices the broken headlight truck is sitting over there, and she puts two and two together.
She was in it. She got out for a second and notices it, and she's like, "Oh shit!" And because it was okay, next time I'll do full on notes. And since it's 2005, her phone is not yet dead because it is a flip phone, and she's not
able to make a voicemail call.
Yes.
That's true. She's also not doom scrolling on her little Nokia.
Right.
And she also makes a call instead of texting help.
Yes.
Speaking of which, she had some good service in that middle of nowhere town, considering this was 2005, because she manages to get that call off. The voicemail sounds great.
I feel like there's things that they do in movies when a new technology comes out, they want it to be like the most state of the art, that I feel like they would like, will put, like Josh put on Thinner recently. It's a Stephen King movie from the late 1900s.
I know what this is. Yeah.
I was going to say 1990s.
Well, we're old.
And the wife is monitoring the husband's weight loss on a laptop, which is incredibly unnecessary. And she has like a bar graph. She's like putting in the data, and then it's on a bar graph. And she's like, look how many pounds you've lost the last week. Completely unnecessary. So I feel like they're just like, oh, because 2005 was like, that's when everybody finally had phones.
Yeah, I had a Razor at this point in 2005. Because in 2004 I had a Nokia brick, and then I ended up getting the Razor, whatever. Actually, I think I still had a Nokia brick. That because you can. Yeah, I had the Nokia in 2004 is when I first got my phone.
Nokia flip phone in 05.
I just had like the brick like they were using, but yeah, she ends up noticing that she's in the car. Beau shows up and she's like, "You were the guy from last night." He goes, "Open this door, woman." Breaks through the glass. She's like, "Where's Wade?" And that's, you know, while the phone, I don't know. We find out later.
He's still in the can.
Yeah, he's in the can. He's taking a while. I don't know. Carly tries to escape, and that's when all of the lights come on. So she runs to the church. That's when she sees that everything is wax. She also knocks an arm off, and hey, guess what? That was a real arm. Creepy.
So the funeral was wax people.
Yes, it was a wax funeral. And so he ends up catching Carly and ties her up like he was as a child in the high chair, and he glues her lips closed, which is crazy. Meanwhile, though,
yeah, that was gross.
We see old Jared Padalecki down there in the basement with old Vincent there with his wax face, and he's getting it the worst. He's all cut up, beat up, and then
I don't know why he left him alive.
He did, and then the wax just. Oh my god!
First he waxed off his eyebrow.
Oh yeah, that was painful. Yes,
I feel like that's why they gave him stubble, so they could rip it off.
Ouch! I wonder how that scene played out.
Like, why they keep him alive and everybody else they killed?
Well, I wonder if they were just like maybe torturing him because he was kind of I don't know. That's a good question. Because
maybe it is because he was fucking with their house.
He was probably
that is what it is.
Being rude, so they're going to teach him a damn lesson. So that's probably really what it is. You're right. I would have done the same if I was a creepy killer too, I guess. But you know, it's just one of those crazy.
Bless you. You just muted to sneeze. Bless you again. It was one of those crazy things.
Well, it was easier to edit later. But yeah, so he's getting hot waxed all over his body and gets encased in wax. Now, this is when Carly ends up getting her lips glued shut so she can't scream for help. And that's when Dalton and Nick come back. So Nick is looking, he's talking to Beau. He's like, hey, you know.
Paris and her boyfriend stayed behind to do a little
freaky
love
stuff.
Making to guarantee their demise.
An old school boom box.
That's when Brielle said they were cooked.
Well, of course, they were getting freaked. But we're not to the freaky part yet, all right? I mean,
they didn't even get freaky. She was about to tell him she thinks she's pregnant.
She was doing some really awful
striptease.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was awful.
And then instead of doing anything after that, she's like, now I'm about to tell you I think I might be pregnant.
I know, she did all that, and then she sat down like, I had something to tell you.
I know. And like, what?
After you did all of whatever that was, this is when you're going to, okay, that's a choice. But Nick's like, what the hell's going on? And the old Carly's putting her finger through the hole there. I'm not sure, hoping that he can see.
Yeah, that's Carly finally was able to rip the one of the arms off, but her mouth is still closed. So yeah, she's sticking her little finger up through the vent to try to show Nick.
She ends up pulling her mouth apart anyways. She could have just done that to scream in the first place.
Apparently, it was real glue too.
She puts her finger through, and that's when Bo turns around like he dropped something, and he cuts her finger clean off. First of all, again, these little pliers, everything are sharp. All right, because he cuts her finger clean off. And we never really focus on her finger ever again, which I feel like she's gonna have infections. Her fingers.
That's what I said. I'm like, she better disinfect that. And Josh is like, looks at me, he's like, that's what you're worried about.
You even see her wrap her finger up to stop the bleeding because she's gonna be losing a lot of blood. Okay.
You did see her. She took part of her shirt or something. She ripped something and she did wrap it around her finger.
My first thought was, dude, she's about to lose blood. How is she running? Especially as her heart's beating. She's cooked. She's done. But okay. She eventually starts screaming. Listen, I gotta applaud Nick because he does. Chad Michael Murray. The man doesn't just play dumb. He starts swinging on sight with Bo, and that is what you got to do in a horror movie, folks.
He's not gonna let his sister die. That's the whole.
No, but how many times you see people in peril and they're just like, "Oh no, not my husband, not my wife." Whereas Nick's just on sight.
But you kind of knew he was going to do that because he has this reputation where, he's been arrested more than once. And yeah,
absolutely. As he should have. And that's when, they
had him give her his shirt when her shirt got all icky in the light and the thing. Yeah. And Braille goes, why is he taking his shirt off? I'm like, because hers is all bloody. I'm like,
Chad Michael Murray also has in
Chad
shape.
Michael Murray. I know.
They paid for that body.
It's so funny though, watching it now. Cause I remember thinking oh, he's so hot. And now I'm like, he's so skinny. I thought he was too skinny.
He's skinny in shape. He was just
right. He was skinny in shape, but he was young.
Yeah.
I look at that now, and now to me, that's
remember that Christmas movie he was in a couple of years ago where he's like the stripper or whatever?
I haven't seen him in anything other than interviews lately.
Anyways, his hair is awful, but Dalton's meandering around the wax museum, and that's when he finds Wade. Now he sees that Wade's eyes are moving because Wade's still alive. So what does he do? He starts to peel his face off. And he peels his skin off. This is, again, Jared got it the worst.
The main thing I remembered from seeing it 20 years ago.
Yeah, he pulls it off, but he keeps peeling. You can clearly tell.
I know. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, what do you think's going to happen?
What the hell?" And then Dalton deservedly gets
that's a different movie
because that's when Vincent shows up and starts chasing him around, and Dalton, instead of just trying to fight, tries to run away. This is the difference between Nick and Dalton. Chad Michael Murray swinging on sight. He's gonna live. He's a fighter. He's gonna live. Dalton ends up getting his
Chad Michael Murray, though, was trying to save his sister. Dalton's just trying to get away.
Nope. Yeah, see, that's why you have to fight back.
Another thing.
If I'm dying, I'm going down swinging. You're not gonna get me tripping downstairs and then cutting my head off with these scissors.
Dude had
knives.
Shears.
Well, I think they were just knives.
Cut down a palm tree with those.
And then,
that's right. It was knives.
There was these really sharp knives that he had really cool handles on because they made sure to zoom into them. And he cuts Dalton's head off and then drags the body away. But I'm like, dude, Dalton went down some crap. Okay, I'm going down fighting. I'm sorry. I'm not running down these stairs to the creepy basement that's clearly candlelit. No, homie, listen, if I'm dead, let me be stabbed and die bleeding out here. Because also, Wade, when Vincent goes to slash at Dalton, he misses and catches Wade's face, and that's when he cuts the half of his face off, and then that's when Wade finally eventually dies because he's in shock, and so he dies from getting half his face cut off of the wax. So he got the worst, absolutely the worst. Mm-hmm. So why'd you take it from here?
Okay, so when Chad Michael Murray was putting up a fight, they then managed, so him and his sister managed to find a gun and ammo store. They get a crossbow, then they actually do shoot Bo, and they shoot him in the shoulder. And they shoot him in the chest, but they don't confirm that he's dead. They don't double tap him. They don't do anything like that. So of course,
no, oh my God, people
is still alive.
Of course.
And at this point, though, the twins, the 2005 twins, the hot twins, we'll call them the hot twins. The hot twins are actually back into the main house. And that's when they find, because they're trying to find her phone. They're trying to find her phone where they need the keys that Dalton has. They're trying to find their friends. They don't know any of their friends are dead yet. So they're trying to do all that. So they go back to the house. That's when they find all the articles about the Siamese twins and about the wax museum exhibits. And they get a little more of what was going on with this family.
Yes.
And then that's when Carly sees a car pull up, and Paris and Blake are in the back, and they're dead.
Well, yeah. Well, so let's back up though, because we didn't actually. So they were doing their striptease. Okay, the music stops as Paris is also like trying to tell him that she's pregnant after that awful striptease. So he goes out there to turn the music back on, right? And that's when he hears the voicemail of her getting captured, and then he ends up getting stabbed in the neck, and then Paris runs away.
Paris puts up a hell of a fight.
She was like the second best Chad Michael Murray, I'll say, in this whole movie. She was badass. Okay. Paris Hilton was not, again, Paris Hilton was going down a fighter. Her biggest mistake was after she bonked the dude with the metal pipe, was leaving it in the car, because that was her demise. She should have held that metal pipe and fought back.
It's really the striptease.
Well, first of all, yes, running around naked, but it made her more aerodynamic when she fought. Okay. Getting half booty naked out there made her more aerodynamic. So when she was running around, she was able to slip through. And then eventually, he stubs the pipe through the window and right through her head, and she falls forward. That was a cool death for her. She got a deserving, really cool death, and she did fight the hardest.
Really,
thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it was cool, but it was rough.
They're dead, and that's when they're pulling up to the main house, and they see Wade. They find out, obviously he's dead. He was a wax character, and she kind of like brushes past it too. I feel like she didn't really take a moment to be like, "Oh my god, my boyfriend's dead." She was just, "Wade, okay, move on." It was crazy.
A lot of shit was going on at that point.
Fair.
She's just like, "Well, one less person to worry about."
He's like, "Oh, thank God, I've been wanting to break up with him. He's such an asshole."
So when Vincent pulls up with a dead Paris and Blake, Beau is none too happy. So he's, nursing his wounds, pulling the arrows out, which is a super gross scene. And then Beau starts yelling at his brother and calls him a freak. Right. But then suddenly he's really nice to him. And he's like, "Oh, Mom would be so proud. You're finishing what she started." Then we see Nick is messing with lights. So the hot twins have now escaped the house after seeing this and hearing him like call him a freak and all this stuff. And they found the lights for the whole town. Because remember at one point the lights got turned on. Nick is messing with the lights, which all he's doing is telling the
where they are,
older crazy twins where they are. Yes,
here I am. Come get me.
So they know exactly where to go and find them. So this is when they find Dalton in the wax museum, and he's in the wax contraption, and they think they're going to get him out of there, and then his whole head detaches from his body, which was that was gross. So Vincent then suddenly attacks, and a fire starts, and this is when we see the dead Wade.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're right.
And that's at that point in my head, I'm like, I hope he's dead at this point, and he's not still alive.
It would have been hilarious if he's still alive.
If his eyes were still going back and forth.
He's still moving, and you're like, "Oh my God, just die already. Let me put you out of misery myself."
Exactly. So then Beau attacks. They fight as the place starts to completely fall apart and burn.
I got a lot of questions during this part.
Beau ends up stabbing Nick in the leg. And so then he's kind of like on the floor. He's kind of out of it. So Carly then gets a bat and just starts beating the crap out of Beau in the head, which was fantastic for her.
She's a badass final girl right there. She kills him by beating with the bat. And then she tries to appeal to Vincent's good nature and almost works.
Yeah, because here comes Vincent, and she's like, while the house is melting all around him, and she ends up in a room that was clearly supposed to be his parents' room because there was a wax crib in there.
This is the part where it's like, is it cake? Because she puts it in front, and then he's just cutting through the knife, and it cuts the head in half. Very symbolic.
But he separated the twins.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
it's no longer
cutting through the wax.
It did look like that. It's gross. So she tries to be like, "Look, you're not a freak. Your mother wouldn't want you to do this."
Also, and then with all the wax melting to the fire, and he has a wax face on, why isn't his face melting to his?
Well, eventually it falls off, and I assume that's
she hits it off. Yeah, but like, why was?
But I feel like it loosened up because of that, maybe.
Also,
I mean, the whole house.
What is this, World War I? You got to put a wax face on.
How was the house not melting in July?
Also in Louisiana. Yeah, that wax house was going to be melting. Not to mention, so they finally kind of escape as the whole thing's like they're getting through the window and they almost get squished. But it's kind of funny because it's like an inflatable house that just brings them to the ground. And after they obviously stab Vincent, she stabs him and he falls through the house.
Yeah, she pulls the knife out of Nick's leg to stab him, which I thought was but she twisted it first and then
she
pulls it out.
Sure you're also an asshole. Like, all these men in my life suck.
And if anybody has a brother-sister relationship, you do what you got to do to get your brother.
So like they're punching through the wall, right? They're trying to get through there. Again, it looks like frosting cake. They finally get through.
She's like, it's wax, which is what Wade was saying at the beginning. Oh my God, the whole thing's wax.
So like it took her that long. The whole house is melting, and as the floors are melting as they're walking on it, like that's when it's wax. Okay. Anyways,
I mean, I thought like, okay, it's all wax, but there's got to be a foundation to it that's not wax, or it would just melt in the summer.
You would think, and then not to mention the fact that they're in the puddle of wax outside. Wouldn't that wax be burning their skin and clothes off because it's melted from the fire and it's hot?
I know, but watching them walk up the stairs as it's like melting. Have you ever had the dreams where like you can't run away? I felt like that was like a visual interpretation. Movie. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really good point, especially because Nick was already taking his sweet time he was like, he really milked that injury for a while.
He had to give her moment, her leading.
I know. He was just moment. And then he's just standing at the bottom of the stairs looking up like, It's like, are you going up the stairs? Or are you not? Like, hello, get moving, I guess.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden, the whole house goes down. We see Wade go down at the piano. We see the brothers are gone, and you see Vincent falls back on top of the face of Bo. So they are once again conjoined.
It's symbolic.
Going down. They came into this world together.
They're going to
leave this world together.
And as they're driving away at the end of the movie,
but they don't drive away yet. All of a sudden, there's all the cops and everything.
Oh, yeah, the fire, the guys will be there.
So the fire, brought everybody there. And they're like, we looked up these kids. There's one more son.
And that's when they pass by and he's just waving. Bye.
I know. He's just like, have a good day, guys.
I know. The guy was just, bye. Oh my God. All right. So this movie has like a 4.9 stars or 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's too low because for the ridiculous, it's a slasher, right? It's a cheesy kind of, but I thought in terms of horror movies, this movie kind of still held up and was still pretty good. I thought like the deaths, the kills, effects. A lot of the a lot of things still held up to me. I didn't think the acting was even all that bad. The cast was great and it was pretty straightforward aside from just the stupid mistakes that they kind of make, but it's a horror movie. You kind of have to have those. I feel like, the 4.9 and the 28% is a little too low in my opinion, as far as
I agree. I mean, maybe because we watched Troll last week, maybe that's why.
That might actually be why. Yes, you're right.
But Josh even said, he's like, yeah, this movie was pretty good. And like Brielle didn't want to watch it with us. And he's like, why? This one's actually good. It's not like,
this isn't any of the other ones we've watched. Yeah. It's a legitimately, I think this is a good horror film. It's certainly held up for real.
Yeah.
I mean,
and like, I hadn't seen this probably since I saw it in 2005. I don't think I saw it in the theater. Haley was 2 at the time.
Definitely didn't see it in theaters. I was 15. So.
But like I distinctly remember Jared's face being ripped off. And what was funny is when she was hiding in the funeral area, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I know where she is. Like I suddenly remembered she was under the priest's robe.
Oh, yeah.
But like for the most part, like I really did not remember this movie. Like I remember the movie theater scene.
Other than Paris Hilton, I knew how she died, but I didn't remember a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah. Other than Jared, man, that haunted me. And then Josh goes, oh, did you know who he was in this because of Supernatural? I'm like, I started watching Supernatural in 2016.
Yeah, I was going to say Supernatural was way after, but
so speaking of Supernatural, why don't you give us our first fun fact?
Oh, all right. In Supernatural season 5, episode 5, Paris Hilton makes a cameo to which the episode was in 2009 called Fallen Idols. She plays a pagan god who takes on the form of a different celebrity so she can be worshipped and they can be sacrificed. Dean said he's no good because he's not a Paris Hilton fan and he didn't even see House of Wax. The camera cuts to Sam, aka Jared Padalecki, who played Wade in the movie, looking surprised and annoyed that he's never seen it. In this episode, they are at a wax museum at one point, so a little tongue-in-cheek action. I love that.
Yeah, a lot of tongue-in-cheek. I love that they did an episode in a wax museum and got Paris there and still... Like that would have been enough nods, and they still had to call out the movie.
They really went in. And I thought that was cool. Yeah.
So you were just saying like this movie held up really well. Well, the director was insistent to use practical effects as much as possible,
which is good. So I think practical effects, you got to do that. I mean, as much as possible. And then even with this, the town was built in 10 weeks. It is actually filmed in Australia, which is funnier to me because they built. So they used 20 tons of wax. So they legitimately built this town and everything with wax. So they used 20 tons of wax and it took them 7 months to do everything. And it was built or in 10 weeks. It took them, they were building like the wax figures over 7 months. It was modeled after a real town in Eritrea. I call it Asmara. Asmara was built by Italians in Africa during World War II in the modern style rather than the Deco style, which is more popular for the time. So That was really interesting. And I know I kind of combined a couple fun facts, but again, 20 tons of wax. And then they had to like dismantle it all afterwards too. It was crazy.
And the melting wax is peanut butter. And like I had done the fun facts before I rewatched. So like I'm watching and I'm like, that totally makes sense. It looks like they're in peanut butter.
It does. It probably had to smell so bad in the heat too.
Well, I like peanut butter. So
they also had a lawsuit because there was an actual fire on set and stuff too.
Yeah. So since Jared is a foot taller than Alicia, there was a scene where she had to wear 2-foot blocks on her feet to keep them in the same frame.
That's like me and my girlfriend from high school. She was 5 feet tall. So
5 feet. Oh my goodness.
No, she was 5 foot even. Yeah. All throughout high school, I dated this girl. She was 5 foot even. So yeah, it was
that's a huge difference.
Bending over, Jesus God.
You just pick her up. That'd be easier.
Like, oh, are you mad? Let me can't get the cookies. Oh God.
I'm sure she loved that. So there is a House of Wax film from 1933 called Mystery of the Wax Museum, and in 1953 called House of Wax. The 2005 one is a remake, and it is very different. So while dead bodies do end up covered in wax in a wax museum, the premises are different. However, in the 1953 one, the OG Morticia Addams is actually in that.
Oh, is she really? That's cool.
So one of the twins, the evil twins, was named Vincent, which is a nod to Vincent Price, who was in the 1953
Vincent Van Gogh
wax museum artist. The 53 one starts with the museum burning down with the artist inside, while this one ends that way. The director believed the film to be more of a remake of the movie Tourist Trap from 1979, in that a group of young friends stranded at a secluded roadside museum are stalked by a masked assailant who uses his telekinetic powers to control the attraction's mannequins. I feel like it sounds like a combination of the two.
I would say that too. And then also there is a scene where Wade is curiously looking over Dr. Sinclair's supplies before the lights go out.
No,
and it shows that one of the awards, again, dude, you did this to yourself. Yep. Now, one of the awards on the wall reveals the doctor's first name is Victor, which is a nod to Victor Frankenstein. I thought that was kind of cool. And according to an interview for the podcast, Be Afraid, which more specifically episode 7, screenwriters and twin brothers Chad and Carrie W. Hayes were forced to camp out one night in a remote forest. They kept smelling horrible smells of something decomposing and woke up to a mysterious pickup truck, complete with the gun rack, shining its headlights before backing down the road and vanishing. Creepy as hell, man. I don't be camping places like that, all right? They were terrified they'd stumbled onto a serial killer's dump site until the morning revealed they had camped about 15 feet from a roadkill disposal pit, and they realized they probably scared the truck driver as much as he scared them. They agreed the incident would make a great opening sequence for a horror film. Now, years later, they had the opportunity to do that for House of Wax, which was one of their first major horror movies, and they actually went on to create the Conjuring franchise. Now, I'm not a fan of the Conjuring franchise, but that is a cool, very creepy story. Like, oh God, again, I don't be camping random places for this reason alone.
I hope the guy that was dumping his roadkill like saw House of Wax and was like, this feels familiar.
I would have loved if he could have hit them up. Like, obviously, the internet wasn't so prominent then, but how cool would it have been if he hit them up? That was me. And then write him to the premiere and be like, this guy, thank you for creeping us out. Yeah.
So Paris Hilton actually got permission to sell shirts that said on May 6th, watch Paris Hilton die.
Yeah, they were really leaning into that because fans were not happy that she was cast in this film.
And some people like cheered when she was she killed. I feel like she's underrated. She's not all just like
mind her. Actually, she's not dumb. She is. Thank you. I'm so glad somebody else said that because her and Nicole Richie played into that dumb persona, right? For It's Simple Life or whatever, and she played into that because she had to. But isn't she doing like a lot of charity work or something good these days or something? I thought I was reading. So. I could be completely mistaken, but I thought legitimately Paris Hilton turned out to be like a good person, which caught all of us from 2005 off guard.
Well, they said when she was in Supernatural, like they all expected her to be high maintenance and she was super chill. And she also went along with making fun of herself in that episode. Yeah. She's like, what is with spray tans and little dogs?
And again, I'll have to fact check, but also she did win the worst supporting actor in the Golden Raspberry Awards. Which I don't like those awards in the first place, but also she was by far not the worst part of this film at all. So I think
it was
they were just being mean to her.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. His behavior or that stubble he had to have.
I feel like they just, it was barely stubble. It was like he was 12 growing a beard.
Yeah. I will say this out of 5 stars for Letterboxd purposes, I would give this movie a 3 out of 5. I don't think it's bad. Is it great? Is it the pantheon of horror films? No, I don't think so, but I legitimately didn't have a bad time watching this again, and I would definitely watch it again down the road.
Yeah, I feel like I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh, that's what, 3.25 out of 5. There you go. No, I could go up for a 3.5, so we don't have to do math and all that. But I'm gonna put it on the letterbox anyways.
As long as it's not a 6-7, I'm in.
I give this movie about a 6. Oh my god! At the birthday party, my daughter's friend is 6 and Harper's 7. She's like, "Look, she's 6 and I'm set." Shut your ass. Shut up. Never hit a kid. No, this movie isn't bad at all.
I thought I'd hit a number.
God, that's the one thing of the youth. And you know me, I'm very hip, as the kids say. I knew what cooked was.
You know a lot of things that Brielle says, but like 6-7's gotta go, man. It's gotta go.
I don't get the 6-7 thing, man. That's one thing I can't follow the youth down. So whatever it may be, let us know what you think of House of Wax. Because I didn't think it was a bad movie. We will be watching Van Helsing. We're trying to lock in a date with our Patreons, by the way. So Patreon movie night, we do that. And this month should be Van Helsing. And when I do go to Orlando at the end of the month, I'm not running the half marathon, but I will be down there. We will be recording at Epic Comics. And then who knows, we might get into some other stuff. Now, Lauren, I need to know.
Yes. What do you need to know?
Next week, we're doing Leprechaun?
I don't know. Are we? We could also just talk Peacemaker. I feel like we need to do something spooky.
No, we're going to do Leprechaun. Peacemaker can be a bonus episode. All right, we're doing it. We got to do Leprechaun. We've watched a good movie to get the bad taste of troll out of our mouth. Leprechaun is a different kind of bad that I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? Oh,
no. Brielle said she'll watch it because it's Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, dude. All right. Next week is Leprechaun, hands down. Jennifer Aniston's in this movie. We will be definitely watching it. We made a promise at MegaCon. Come on, dude. It's Halloween. We're halfway through. Come on, cheer up, dude. It's Christmas.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And the way you can get that, if you want to listen to ad-free episodes and even get them early, patreon.com/hopsgeeknews. And then I feel like I'm promoting that a little more than usual. I'm sorry, guys. And then just find us each and every week. We are going to be doing Peacemaker, a bonus episode on Peacemaker, I should say, because it's getting ready to wrap up. Gen V, we will be also dropping some bonus action. And then check us out in Orlando in a couple weeks. But I have no final thoughts. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Be nice to people you don't know. They might be murderers.
Don't be a dick. Listen, rule 1, guys.
I think they still would have killed them. But
they were definitely going to die, but probably not as viciously, I guess. Maybe he would have been killed before being encased in wax. I don't know.
I guess we'll never know.
Guess we'll never know. But rule 1, guys, don't be a dick. And that is what Jared could have learned in this movie. Sorry, bud. Mm-hmm. We'll catch you guys next time. Stay away from Louisiana. Stay away from any wax museums, any other weird things, and make sure your fan belts in your cars are okay.